The last tape clicked into the old VCR with a dry, scraping sound. Dust floated in the air like tiny ghosts. The TV screen in room 6, an abandoned media room no one used anymore, glowed pale blue. Ethan held the remote. Ava stood beside him, chewing her lip. Marcus leaned on a broken film cart, and Lily hugged her backpack like a shield. On the TV, a black screen flashed a title in shaky white letters, Room 6, Final Record. Then we saw the weird part. The camera on the tape seemed to be inside this very room. Same metal chairs. Same crooked wall map. Same poster of a bald eagle with a torn wing. Even the same cracked clock stuck at 6:06. The camera moved on the tape like someone was holding it, but none of us were. The picture panned left, then right, then settled on the TV itself. And then, without warning, the tape showed us, Ethan, Ava, Marcus, and Lily, standing exactly where we were standing now. "Pause it," Ava whispered. Ethan pressed the button, but the tape did not pause. The pause icon blinked like a tiny heartbeat in the corner, yet the video kept playing. The Ethan on the screen lifted a hand. So did the real Ethan by accident, like a mirror. The Ethan on the screen pointed to the VCR. So did Ethan, but his fingers shook. On the tape, a voice spoke from behind the camera. It was calm and clear, like a teacher taking attendance. "This is the last tape of Room 6, the voice said. "If you are watching, do not stop the recording." Ava stepped back. Did that voice know we'd be here? No one answered. The room felt colder than the hall. In the video, the camera turned toward the door. The number on the door said 6, but the paint looked wet, like it had just been written. The doorknob in the video began to turn. The real doorknob behind us began to turn too. That was the moment everything inside us tightened at once. The highest peak, the place where breath stops. The door rattled. The screen flickered. The clock on the wall clicked to life. The hands jumped from 6:05 to 6:06 even though it had been dead all year. The tape voice said, "Do not stop the recording," one more time, softer now, like it was standing right behind us. The doorknob turned all the way. And then the screen went black. For 3 long seconds there was no picture, no sound, only the faint hiss of the TV and the sound of our own small breaths. When the video came back, the camera was pointed at the floor. A shoe stepped into view. It was scuffed and small, like it belonged to a kid. A whisper floated out of the speakers, not from the camera but from somewhere deeper inside the tape. "Whoever watches last keeps the door closed." "What does that mean?" Lily asked, her voice barely there. No one moved. No one answered. Even the dust seemed to stop floating. And then, because doing nothing felt worse than doing something, we stepped backward from the door and the moment cracked like ice breaking. The high point had passed and our hearts began to beat again, still fast but not frozen. "I think this is a prank," Marcus said, trying to sound brave. "Like one of those viral videos where someone edits the same room to match real life." "Who would prank us in a room nobody uses?" Ava asked. Marcus did not answer. He peeled a dead sticker off the film cart and kept his eyes on the screen. Room 6 had been closed for months. Maple Ridge Middle School had a new media center now, shiny and bright, with computers that smelled like plastic and a 3D printer that was always jammed. The old wing, where Room 6 lived, was supposed to be locked. But Ethan had found a gold key on a ring of wires in the math lab last week. It fit every door in the old hall like the key had been waiting for him. Today, during last period, the 4 of us snuck in for an adventure we could tell at lunch. We like strange places. We like puzzles. We like that scary thrill feeling you get before a roller coaster drops. But the tape did not feel like a roller coaster. It felt like stepping into a shadow you thought was a doorway and finding out it wasn't. "Let's just see what happens next," Ethan said. "We won't touch anything. We won't stop it." Ava nodded. Lily did not nod, but she stayed. "Mark," we waited. The tape answered, maybe because we asked without saying the words. The picture changed again. The camera was up high now, near the ceiling, looking down like a quiet bird. The 4 of us were on the screen again, only this time we looked older by minutes, as if the tape were playing a scene from 5 breaths into the future. In the image, Ethan lowered the camcorder to the cart. Ava took a step toward the door. Marcus looked at the VCR. Lily stared straight at the screen with her shiny eyes. Then, on the tape, a new thing happened that had not happened to us yet. The TV inside the TV inside the TV switched from the tape to a live view, and a red light blinked. Record. The door in the video began to open. We all looked at our door. It did not move. We looked back at the TV. In the video, the door opened wider. We could not see who or what was behind it. Only the hallway, gray and still. The camera did not move. The red light kept blinking. The words returned, sharper now, like they had been carved deeper. Do not stop the recording. What if that's the only rule? Ava said. We can follow one rule, Marcus said, but his voice was not as firm as the words. Then we follow it, Ethan said. We stood there, for kids in a room that felt too old for us, watching a picture of ourselves watching a picture of ourselves. The low part of our fear became a slow, even beat. The high part hid somewhere above the ceiling, waiting. A soft thump came from the hall. Then another. Like someone setting down a stack of books. The sound moved toward us, slow and polite. On the TV, the same sounds played in the same rhythm, only half a second ahead, like the tape was a weather report for the next few heartbeats. The doorknob in the video began to turn again. Our doorknob did not. The doorknob on the screen turned and turned until it stopped with the latch half open. The red record light on the TV blinked faster, 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 and then stayed on. A new line scratched itself into the screen, letter by letter, like a pencil pushed too hard. When the light stays on, the door will match. We stared at that sentence as if staring could change the letters. The red light on the screen stayed on. It did not blink. The real doorknob behind us began to turn. The doorknob kept turning until the latch gave with a soft metal click. The door to room 6 opened by itself, just wide enough to show the gray hall. Cold air slid across the floor like water. The TV showed the same thing, half a heartbeat ahead, like it had been waiting for this exact moment. The red record light on the screen did not blink. It glowed steady like an eye. Something crossed the hall on the tape. A shadow the size of a kid moved past the doorway and stopped just out of view. We heard nothing in the room. No footsteps. No breathing. But the hair on our arms lifted like someone had whispered our names. None of us said a word. We did not run. We did not touch the stop button. We just watched and tried to make our hearts beat in order again. On the tape, the camera did a tiny tilt toward the floor. A single wet mark showed on the tile at the threshold. It looked like the bottom of a shoe touched down then pulled back. In real life, the same wet shape slowly appeared at our threshold. We stared at it until it dried in the air and was gone. Hello, Ava said, because hello is what people try when they cannot think of any other spell. The TV did not answer. The door did not move more. The hall did not send anything else in. The high, sharp part of fear softened. It dropped down into a low drum inside our chest. The extreme moment had happened. We were still here. We were safe for one more breath. Okay, Marcus said. We wedge the door so it stays open and we keep recording. We follow the rule and we take control. Ethan nodded, grateful for a plan. He grabbed the old film cart and rolled it toward the door. The wheel squeaked. He pushed the front wheel into the gap so the door couldn't swing shut. On the TV, we saw the same move happen a blink before we saw it in the room. The cart stopped in place, steady as a block. Lily knelt and set a pencil on the floor, half in the room, half in. A soft, rolling sound came from somewhere out there. It was faint and familiar. Not books now. Wheels. A janitor's cart. Rubber meeting tile. We could not see it. We could only hear the sound, and even that seemed to come to us first from the TV and then from the air, like the room was an echo of its own picture. Hello. Ava tried again, louder. We can help if you need help. The tape cut to the TV in the room, the one we were watching. The red light filled the corner of the screen like a small moon. The word help formed on our TV glass from the inside, letters fogging in and then clearing, as if someone had breathed against it and drawn with a finger. The letters were backward on the room side and forward on the tape side. They faded, then came back darker. Help. We are helping, Lily said, and her face changed in a way I did not like. She looked like someone trying not to look afraid so everyone else could rest. Ethan took the camcorder to the door and aimed it into the hallway without stepping across. The TV showed his view a blink ahead. Empty tile, a drinking fountain, a line of lockers with chipped paint. Nothing moved. But in the fast-ahead version, a locker door a dozen feet down eased open an inch. In real life, the same locker eased open an inch to match. Ethan jerked the camera back like a finger in a flame. Okay, Marcus said. Here's a new plan. We keep the rule but we test the edges. We try to add a rule of our own. What rule? Ava asked. That we decide the ending, Marcus said. The tape is the last record, right? Fine. We write the last line. He went to the chalkboard and printed in block letters last line. The door closes and we walk away. We watch the board on the TV. The letters were there before his chalk touched the surface like always. Then a new letter drifted onto the end of the sentence on the TV, one Marcus had not written. A period. Then another sentence wrote itself under his, slow and patient. But not until someone stays. The room pressed closer around us. The low drum of fear climbed. I could feel the new high point waiting above us again. No one stays, Ava said. It doesn't get to choose one of us. We. The TV cut to a new shot. A tight view. The camcorder's little screen. On that tiny screen, it showed Lily standing by the door, her hand on the cart. Ethan was near the VCR. Marcus was at the board. Ava was between them. That was almost true in the room. But in the tape's view, Lily took her hand off the cart. The door moved an inch. In our room, Lily's hand was still on the cart. She looked at the TV and then she looked at her hand and she did a small test. She lifted her fingers half an inch. The cart stayed in place. The door did not move. See, she said. It's just. On the screen, future Lily stepped 1 foot into the hall. In the room, Lily did not move. On the screen, future Lily turned her head like she heard her name far away. In the room, Lily stood very still and clenched her fist around the cart handle. Don't copy it, Ava said. Not this time. We break the echo. The red record light on the TV flared brighter for 1 second, as if it had been annoyed. Then it settled back to steady. Ethan backed away from the door, still pointing the camcorder, like the camera could be a leash on the room. He set the camcorder on the cart's top shelf and taped the record button down with a strip of old clear tape he found in the teacher's desk. The little screen kept the tunnel of screens going on, room 6 folding into itself like a paper trick. The wheels out in the hall rolled again. Closer now. Then they stopped. The air, but even as he said it, Lily's lips formed a word we all could read, please. The low hum of fear in the room began to climb again, climbing to a place sharper, hotter. Every breath we took felt heavier. Ethan, his hand trembling, lifted the camcorder. He pointed it at the TV, so that Lily's image was filmed again into the infinite tunnel of screens. The picture bent and twisted, and for a second, the Lily on the tape pressed her palms against the glass of the TV as though she could feel the new layer. The lights in the room snapped back on with a buzz. The clock above us clicked forward, 6:07. But then it jerked back, 6:06 again. Stuck. Always stuck. The words on the screen changed. The last tape cannot end until the last person stays. No, Ava muttered. It wants one of us to stay. It already took Lily. Maybe not, Ethan cut in quickly. His eyes were wild, sharp with some desperate thought. Maybe it's showing us what happens if we give in. If one of us stays, it closes. If not. The TV screen cracked loudly like ice splitting on a lake. A black line zigzagged down the glass, but instead of breaking, the crack opened. A dark slit in the screen widened like a mouth. On the other side was not static, not wires, just more hallway. The same one Lily stood in. Her hand reached through the crack, pale and trembling, fingers stretching toward us. Pull her out, Ava gasped.